you've earned your flowers. And I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work, and obviously the talent was there with your kids and your grandkids.
What work did she put in?
In the hair,
okay,
clothing,
yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. And the styling,
the styling,
the imaging. You're right.
She claimed to have preyed on the name, and different aspects of that.
Sure, sure.
So, yeah, it's a joint effort.
We'll stop now.
Sorry, did I say something wrong?
No.
All right.
Beyoncé was already gone. She had taken Blue Ivy. She was hopping from country to country, hotel to hotel, living her best life with absolutely no intention of going back to Jay-Z. That marriage was over. She had made her decision and she was out. And she would have stayed gone for good if it wasn't for her own mother calling her up, pressuring her to go back, supporting Jay-Z, telling her daughter that the power couple image was more important than whatever she was feeling. Tina Knowles allegedly convinced Beyoncé to walk back into a marriage she had already walked out of. And the person who watched all of this happen from the inside, who saw exactly how Tina operates behind closed doors, was her now ex-husband, Richard Lawson. They married in 2015. Separated in July 2023, and their divorce settlement included a $300,000 payout to Richard and an NDA that bars both of them from speaking negatively about the other party, their children, or their grandchildren. So whatever Richard knows, and based on 8 years inside that family, he knows a lot he's legally limited in what he can say out loud. But what has come out paints a picture of a woman who has spent decades building her entire identity around her daughter's fame and will do whatever it takes to make sure that machine never stops running, even if it means sacrificing Beyoncé's happiness to keep it going. So let me get into everything, because once you start connecting the dots here, a lot of things about the Knowles-Carter family start making a very different kind of sense. Okay, so for people who don't know, Richard Lawson is an actor. He and Tina were actually friends for years before they got together, and their relationship lasted about a decade total. And one of the first things he noticed about Tina was how eager she was to be a star herself, that desire for fame, for recognition, for being somebody beyond just Beyoncé's mother. That energy was always present. And apparently that's part of what attracted Richard to her initially, because he's in the entertainment industry too, so he understood that ambition. But what he didn't fully grasp until he was inside the marriage was just how deeply Tina had fused her own identity with Beyoncé's success. This wasn't a mother who was proud from a healthy distance. According to what's been coming out, this was a woman who saw her daughter's career as her personal vehicle, a way to finally get the spotlight she had always wanted for herself. Throughout the entire marriage, Richard watched Tina put Beyoncé in situations repeatedly because she wanted to use her daughter's fame to boost her own profile. And when they eventually split, Tina wrote in her memoir that she woke up one day with a clarity that the marriage needed to end, saying that if she stayed, she would never feel whole, loved, cherished, respected, and seen. But here's what's interesting. When Richard was asked about the divorce at LAX, his response was measured and careful. He said her book was wonderful and very successful and that he was happy for her. When asked about remarrying, he said he can't say he won't, but he's not looking forward to it anytime soon. That's a man choosing every word carefully because there's a legally binding NDA hanging over his head.
What you thought about Tina's book since it come out?
Her book was wonderful.
Yeah.
And very successful, so I'm happy for her.
Yeah? Do you think you'll you'll ever get married again?
I can't say that I won't.
Yeah.
But I certainly am looking forward to it anytime soon.
I love it.
And listen, there's an interview that people keep bringing up that honestly makes so much more sense in this context. Richard was sitting right there while Tina spoke about him in a way that people described as humiliating. The look on his face, the disappointment, the embarrassment was visible to everyone watching.
I prayed for the type of man I wanted, and I got pretty much that. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But, he has a lot of the qualities. No. He has a lot of the qualities that I love, and we're having a really good time, and I'm enjoying life. So there is hope, women. Ladies.
People left comments saying they remembered that interview and how disrespectful it was, and that if she could treat him like that in public with cameras rolling, imagine how she speaks to people when nobody's watching. And that connects directly to something Tina herself admitted in her own memoir. She wanted to publicly go after people, to curse them out and set the record straight over rumors. but Beyoncé shut that down. Tina literally wrote that it was one of the worst times because Beyoncé would not allow her to speak publicly. So think about what that tells you about the dynamic inside this family. Tina wants to control the narrative, but Beyoncé controls Tina's access to the narrative. There are layers of control operating in every direction, and the question is who's actually in charge of who at any given moment. Now let's talk about the awards, because this detail doesn't get nearly enough scrutiny. Industry insiders have reportedly let it slip that most, if not all, of the awards Tina Knowles has received were bought and paid for by Beyoncé. And the example that everyone keeps pointing to is when Tina received the Mother of the Year award at Billboard's Women in Music event in March 2025. That category had never existed before. It was created specifically for Tina.
This is such an honor. I mean, thank you, Billboard, for thinking about mothers, because a lot of times we're forgotten, right? Congratulations to all the talented awardees today. God, I'm in a company of such greatness. It's so great to see all these young, talented, beautiful women in here. And I just want to talk a second about mothers. As a new mother, you are responsible for shaping a human life and are usually the first and most important role model for your kids. There is no formal training class to prepare you for the most important job that you'll ever have in your life.
And the reaction online was immediate. People were saying they're making up awards for that family now. And if the criteria is simply that you gave birth to a superstar and helped build their career, then where is Katherine Jackson's award? She gave birth to Michael Jackson and the entire Jackson 5. Where's Mama Knowles' ceremony for her? But here's the detail that actually makes the whole thing even more awkward. Tina's own family wasn't even there. She told Entertainment Tonight that all of them were out of the country and it just wasn't a good time for them to come. So Beyoncé allegedly paid for this award and then didn't even show up to watch her mother receive it. I need everyone to sit with that for a second, because that tells you something about how transactional this relationship might actually be. The money flows, but the genuine support and presence apparently doesn't always follow. But the Jay-Z situation is what really exposes how far Tina will allegedly go to protect the brand over her own daughter's well-being. Because Beyoncé had left. She was done. She was moving between countries with Blue Ivy, and she was not looking back. And instead of supporting her daughter's decision to walk away from a man who publicly humiliated her, Tina pressured her to go back. And then she didn't just quietly facilitate the reconciliation, she went on a full public campaign to rehabilitate Jay-Z's image within the family. She wrote what she described as a love letter to her son-in-law, Sean Carter, on Instagram, praising his work on the Super Bowl halftime show. On Father's Day, she posted about Jay-Z, calling him one of the best dads to do it, and saying she was blessed to see him in action with her grandbabies. On their 17th wedding anniversary in April 2025, she posted a video montage of Beyoncé and Jay-Z, calling them two of her favorite people in the whole wide world and praising their ability to block out the outside noise. She even defended him to a stranger on a plane who called him a gangster rapper, telling the woman that actually her son is a CEO and a very good person.
I can remember getting on a plane and an older white woman saying, "Oh, your son is a gangster rapper, right? How did you let him marry your daughter?" And it was just shocking to me. And I said, no, actually, my son is a CEO. She didn't think of him as a CEO or even a talented celebrity that, was a great businessman. And at that time, I remember thinking, I can't be mad at her because that is what the media portrays.
In her memoir, she refers to Jay-Z as her son, not son-in-law, her son. And that level of public devotion to the man who cheated on your daughter is wild to me, because it tells you that Tina's loyalty isn't to Beyoncé the person, it's to Beyoncé and Jay-Z the brand. And then there was that moment that everybody caught. Tina's Instagram account was found liking a post that reported on serious allegations against Jay-Z. She quickly posted a statement claiming she'd been hacked, writing that everyone knows she doesn't play about her family and that if you see something uncharacteristic of her, it wasn't her doing. But a lot of people online weren't buying it.
And then Miss Tina Knowles over here. As you can see, ABC7 Chicago posted this saying that Jay-Z and Diddy were being named in the lawsuit for doing this to that 13-year-old girl. Looked right down there. It says, liked by Miss Tina Knowles. But instead of saying, oh, it was a mistake, I didn't mean to like that, I didn't even realize that I did that, I certainly don't align with that at all. I did not intend to like that. She talking about, I was hacked. As you know, I do not play about my family, so if you see something uncharacteristic of me, just know that is not me. Why do celebrities always claim that they were hacked when something so minor happens on social media? If somebody was going to hack your Instagram, Miss Lady, they would have done more than like that one post.
The speculation was that she liked it intentionally, maybe out of genuine concern, maybe in a moment of frustration, and then backtracked the second it went viral because the machine demanded she stay on script. And honestly, that tracks with everything else we know about how this family operates. Every public move is calculated, every statement is vetted. And the one time Tina's finger might have slipped and revealed how she actually feels, she had to immediately cover it up with a hacking story. Now here's where things got really messy just recently. Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father, Tina's first husband, was doing a live interview on Pix 11 in March 2026 when the host mentioned the work that both he and Tina put into Destiny's Child. And Matthew's immediate response was to ask what work did she put in. When the host reminded him about her styling and hair work, he acknowledged it, but then abruptly ended the interview, stood up, and walked out. The clip went viral on the Shade Room. He later told Page Six it was a question, not a comment, and that they have a wonderful relationship. And he even said Tina did way more than just hair. She helped build the group's image. But the damage was done because that initial reaction, what work did she put in that was instinct, that was unfiltered? And it connects to something people have been saying for years about how Kelly Rowland was styled during the Destiny's Child era. People have openly said they always felt Kelly was deliberately made to look less noticeable so Beyoncé could be the standout. The hair choices, the colored contacts on a dark-skinned girl, the outfit decisions, and those styling choices came from Tina, who was dressing the group. Whether it was intentional or not, the pattern fits a woman who sees everyone around Beyoncé as a supporting character in a story that has to end with Beyoncé on top. And now there's a blind item circulating that ties all of this together in a way that's hard to ignore. According to the source, Beyoncé is done. Done with the control, done with the pressure, done with the handlers who make every decision for her. The source claims that industry insiders have been whispering about this for a while and that Beyoncé has threatened to flee the country multiple times. And if you've been wondering why her bodyguard was seen chasing after her at a major award show recently, this is allegedly why the people around her are genuinely afraid she's going to leave without notice. She's reportedly fed up with her mother's control and tired of her husband's influence. And the source also claims this is why Beyoncé has been working so aggressively lately, stacking as much money as possible because she's building a runway for herself. She's preparing for an exit. And if that's true, then every tour date, every brand deal, every secret hair care push, where Tina serves as vice chairwoman isn't about ambition anymore. It's about a woman trying to reach a financial position where she can finally walk away from the machine that was built around her and still survive on the other side. And that should change how you look at everything Beyoncé has been doing lately. Because maybe the hardest cage to escape isn't the industry, it's the family that made you.